Right. So, yesterday we discussed about how to create a project, especially on Pega. So, let me rewind again, right? So, what we discussed in the previous session, because Pega is a business process management tool, because of course there are many other tools like Pega, something like Appian, etc. So, Pega is a business process management tool. So, when you want to create any kind of business processes for any of the project when we are working on. So Pega is something which is widely used across industries. So being a business analyst from the technical BA point of view, because if you are working as a business analyst in Pega environment, because there are a lot of opportunities even we see as a business analyst in application side, right? So BPM applications like Pega, all that. So being into business analyst role, we need to gather the requirements for any of the project. So once we have gathered the requirements, whatever solutions are we going to provide, followed by functional, non-functional requirements. Everything can be prepared by the BA in this Pega. In regard to that, yesterday we have discussed about the introduction part, all that. At the same time, even how to create a project I have created. So we have taken a project called point of sale system. Point of sale, nothing but billing system, I can say. Means when we go to the retail store, whenever we buy the products, whatever the billing happen, okay, the billing system is called point of sale. In that point of sale system, as an application we have taken, we have to select uh, a case, either it can be payment processing or invoice management, etc. So we have taken a payment processing over here. So when you are taking a payment processing, normally payment processing consists of lot many things, because normally this will be categorized into three different directions we have created over here. The first one about the payment initiation, that was the first one. Second one is about payment processing. The third one about payment settlement. So these are the three different steps will be there in payment processing. So payment initiation, where we have to gather all the required customer details, we'll be entering all the customer details over here. At the same time, we have to verify the inventory. Whatever the products customer has bought, you need to verify the customer details here. So here, so you need to verify the inventory, right? So verifying the inventory is also one of the key element. So gathering, we have to gather. At the same time, we need to collect all the information, whatever the required information we want to initiate. So that has to be initiated. So verifying the inventory, right? So which inventory, for example, someone has taken, right? So someone has taken something like, right? So groceries, right? So this is what something which people have taken. Groceries is what something which product, which customer has taken, right? So notify customer, right? So notification of the customer is what customer details we have to initiate it. This is where payment initiation. Now here we need to validate the payment amount, whatever the amount you want to validate. So that payment amount has to be validated. For example, I'm mentioning a payment of 150, right? So confirm the payment method. So that we have to be mentioned over here. So when you are going to confirm the payment method, for example, a customer is paying through card, right? So authenticate user, send payment confirmation to the customer. That is what something which we do. This is all something which is part of payment processing. If you want to add any other additional steps and all, everything depends on the requirement which customer has given, we can add that. Next one about the payment settlement. So we need to verify the transaction details. What are the details we have to verify? That has to be verified. Next, we need to initiate the fund transfer, followed by the send settlement summary will be there. This is all comes under the steps and stages of the payment processing. Being a business analyst, when we are trying to develop a point of sale system, as an example we have taken. in that one of the case, because there are a lot of features like order processing, inventory management, all that. So one of the feature called payment processing I have taken. Next, you can click on next. Just wait for a moment. Right. So here you need to mention the suggested fields, whatever the required fields you want. So you can mention all the fields, whatever the required card holder name, right? So billing address, shopping address. For example, payment ID. Payment ID is it auto generated any number. Next, at the same end, payment date will be there, right? So whatever the payment you are going to create, so payment date, amount, payment method, card number, because we have selected an option of payment called card. So hence it will ask you about the card number. When is this going to be expired, and what is the name will be there on the card, followed by the CVV number, which is in the back side of the card. All this will be mentioned over here. So once it is done, you can click on submit. So if you want to add any kind of fields here, we can add the fields. Okay, that we can do it. Whatever the required fields we want to add anything, those required fields can be added into the existing details, like because either it can be any other additional fields, like, right? So you want to send any kind of reminder or notifications, right? So line items, everything we can process. So whenever we are processing, usually this is what and how usually a payment processing initiation, which is a kind of case, I can say. Case or itself one of the feature as far as the payment point, as far as the point of sale system application is concerned. This is what and how usually the functionality is what something being a business analyst we need to prepare when we are working on the uh, Pega, because Pega, as in when mentioned you, Pega is a business process management tool, wherein if you want to create any business processes for multiple cases, either it can be order processing, or it can be payments, or else it can be for billing, right? So it can be for inventory management, right? So different options will be available. Different options will be there. So whatever the options, whatever the different cases and all, for everything there is a process which is initiates, right? So based upon the business rules of the particular organization. So how and what usually the business process we are going to create over here is something essentially important when we are developing it, right? So this is where and how usually the project we have created. Here you can see this is all about the application studio of Pega, right? So in this Pega, whatever the application based on the basic inputs which we have given, right? So one is about the project we called as point of sale system we have taken. Next, we have taken a case type, which is of payment processing, is what generally the case type we have taken. And this is what and how usually the details we have updated. At the same time, if you want to add any kind of data interfaces or or if you want to add any kind of attachments, everything, if you want, we can add all that. So this is all something which is consider and call it as a life cycle, right? So this is a life cycle of the process what we have created. At the same time, even we can create even data models also, because data model creation is also one of the key and important element. When it comes to the data model, these are all the details will be updated because here the billing details, or it can be card details or expiry details, card expiry, right? So case ID, all these things will be there. At the same time, if you want to create any kind of user experiences for the project, so this is what and how generally the user experience for the project will be appears, right? So here you can see there are different labels we have to provide, right? So at the same time, we need to provide the ID number, etc. All that. So this part we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, so this is what generally Pega we use as a BA to create a project, at the same time to create some workflows, processes, life cycle, at the same time based on the requirements which customer has given and how this can be taken further. This is what something being a BA we do. In the next session, I'm going to discuss about how to create this UX, right? So user experiences by updating all the details and all everything in tomorrow's session. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Any questions?